Hey everyone, it's Carolyn. I'm an empath and psychic, and in today's video, I'm going to be revamping my charm collection. So I recently picked up some more charms, and I'm going to add them to my charm collection, but I thought while I'm doing this, I might as well take out any charms I'm not resonating with, and also make sure that I'm not overlapping with too many of the same charms, and also if there's any conflicting messages, I can go ahead and change that. And so the reason I want to show you all my thought process as I make these changes is to help any of you, if you have your own charm collection, if you were thinking about revamping it, and also if you have similar charms, maybe I can help you get a new perspective on the meaning. So I'm gonna go ahead and move the new charms to the side, and I'll show you guys all these at the end. So here in this cauldron is where I keep all my charms. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the charms from here. I'm gonna take a handful at a time, lay it out in front of me. Any charms that I wanna keep are gonna go in here. Any charms that I wanna get rid of are gonna go up here. And any charms that I'm not sure of are gonna go down here. I wanna say before I get into this charm collection revamp, that if you're someone who's new to charm collections or charm casting, I have a whole video that I already made that's linked in the cards above that breaks everything down so that you understand what this is and how it works. And if you want to see me doing charm readings, I have a whole playlist where I do charm readings in the cards above. So let's go ahead and see what charms I get here. So the first thing I know I want to get rid of is this bow. I find that any charms that are made of fabric, they just get really worn and they just kind of fray, and it just creates too many issues. And I think that's because in my charm collection, I have things like this, that it's a pin, so it's a little bit sharp, so it gets caught on the fabric. And so I rather just remove a lot of the fabric charms because I think it just doesn't work for my collection. So along those same lines, I have this charm here that is breaking as well, and I kind of go ahead and I fix it every time it does start to fray. But my thing with this is because I use this as my karmic link, I don't want to go ahead and get rid of it. So I'm going to keep it, but I have my eyes open for something to replace this charm eventually, because I feel like eventually it's going to break where I can't repair it. But for now, I can kind of go back in and use some string and put it all back together. So I'm keeping it for now, but it's definitely something I have my eyes out in the future to go ahead and replace it. And then I have my ponytail. I'm keeping that. I use that as a symbol of protection. I really like this charm because I use it to represent a mask, and it can also represent wisdom because it is an owl. I really like the hula girl. She helps me out a lot in readings. I'm going to be keeping all my paper clips and all my binder clips because I use them to represent the chakras. So actually what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go in and I'm going to take all these charms and just put them in the keep bowl. I'm going to keep this Dreamcatcher charm as well. I really like how it reads. Here's another one of my paper clips. I'm going to put this charm in the maybe pile. To me, I read it as protection crystals, but at the same time, I'm not sure if I love the messages with this. I feel like my protection circle and some other charms kind of have the same message, so I'm going to put it in the maybe, and then depending what charms are in here, they'll either replace it or I might choose to keep it. We'll see. And so with these charms, one of these packets I actually got off of Etsy, and I didn't look at all the charms. It was kind of like this set that someone was getting rid of, so I decided to pick that up. So I actually don't know all the charms in here, so that's why I'm going to have a maybe pile, and then we'll go from there. I like this Be Happy charm. So we have this owl ring. Again, I'm going to put this in the maybe. The reason for it is that I have a lot of owl charms in this collection, and I also feel like sometimes when this ring appears, I don't love the way it falls. It's a little bit clunky for my charm collection, so I'm going to see if I don't need it because I know I do have a lot of owls. I'm going to also put this rose in the maybe pile. No, I really like this one. I'm actually going to go ahead and keep this rose charm, even though it's a pin and it's not my favorite because sometimes it catches on things. I love the fact that it has a pearl. I think that really adds to the meanings of readings. So I'm going to keep all my dice. I got that, and it represents the different planets and the houses, and I also use it for numerology, so I really like how these read. So I have a lot of rose charms. So what I'm going to do is all of these ones, I'm going to put it in the maybe pile as they come up because I already kept the one with the pearl in it. I want to see maybe I can get rid of one or two of them depending how many I have. I'm going to keep all my money because I use that for numerology, and then I also use it for other messages. So I'm going to keep all of them as they come up. I'm gonna put this ring in the maybe pile. I don't typically have many messages when it comes up. I'm gonna go ahead and keep this crystal charm. Ooh, I love the card. This helps me out in so many different readings. It has so many different meanings depending on the position it falls. Like sometimes if it's forward, it means everything's on track. Sometimes it lands on its side like that, which I think is super important. And then sometimes it's actually like flipped over. And so it just really is super insightful depending on how it falls and where it falls in the reading too, because for those of you who know how I read, I have a beach tray. And so the sand and the shore represent our conscious energy. And then the dark blue water is our subconscious energy. And then everything in between is kind of leading towards the conscious energy. Again, we have another owl, so I'm gonna put that to the side. I love this mermaid tail. It's my only charm that represents the mermaid energy, so I definitely wanna go ahead and keep this. This is what I call my fool charm because it kind of looks like the fool after he's fallen off the cliff. For those of you who know tarot and know that the fool is taking that first step off that cliff. So I love this, so I'm definitely gonna keep it. I love the shark tooth. It represents so many things. It can represent strength, courage, protection, and so I really love how this reads. I'm gonna keep the unicorn because it's my only unicorn charm, and I feel like that's something that's super important. It can represent healing energy. It can also represent a playfulness or imagination or children. I feel like this telephone booth is a really good symbol of communication, so I'm gonna keep that. I'm gonna keep the crown for my crown chakra. I think I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this charm. I don't even know if some of you can see it. It's basically an earring and it has pearls on it, and you'll see later as I pull the rest of the charms out, the pearls just fall off, so I don't feel like it's actually helping the readings. I think if anything, it's just something that can open up and become really sharp and pointy, and it can hurt me as I'm trying to shuffle through them, and so I don't feel like it's a good fit for my charm collection. I'm gonna put all the love charms in the maybe pile, and that's just because I have so many love charms that I feel like it might be a little bit overwhelming with how many love symbols I have in here. But I'm actually gonna keep the locked one because I have a key in here, and I do think that the two of them make a good pair because sometimes it shows that someone's heart chakra is blocked, and it also shows if they have the key coming into their life. So I'm gonna keep the two of them. So I'm gonna keep this because sometimes this is a really good symbol to have when I'm doing readings, and it just confirms what spirit is already telling me. I have this flamingo charm here, and again, it's gonna go in the maybe because I know I have another flamingo and I wanna kind of look at them and see if I actually need both of them. Here we have an angel pin, and then we also have an angel wing. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and keep both of them just because I feel like this can act as confirmation, or if it's next to maybe the dice or something, it could represent an angel number. And speaking of the dice again, I know that I have another dice. It has only 4 sides on it, but I also like this for angel numbers and stuff, so I'm definitely going to keep that. I'm gonna put the Santa charm in the maybe pile just because sometimes it's so hit or miss with the message of this. It can represent joy, it can represent children, but at the same time, I feel like I might have other charms that represent that energy better, that I don't need this charm because I don't love it when it appears in my readings. It doesn't always resonate with the flow of the reading. I'm gonna keep all my zodiac charms, so I have all 12 zodiacs and I'm definitely gonna keep them. And again with the snowman, I'm gonna have to put that in the maybe pile as well, just because I feel like sometimes I'm at a loss when it comes up in a reading, and sometimes when I do my readings I don't read all the messages of the charms, I just do the overall story of it, and I feel like Santa and the snowman are ones that I overlook a lot just because I don't actually have a resonating energy towards them. I'm gonna keep the snowflake though. I really like the snowflake. And then I have the starfish here, so I think I'm gonna keep the starfish because sometimes it means different things. Sometimes I read it as a star, and then sometimes I read it as a starfish, and so one can mean like hope and inspiration and dreams and possibilities, and then the starfish can sometimes represent holding on to things, and so depending how that is in a reading, sometimes it represents like clinging on where it's creating an issue in your life, and other times it's about holding on to your dreams and your goals and holding on to something that's good for you. So here's some more money. I'm gonna keep that. Gonna grab my zodiac charms. We have this bird here, and I'm gonna keep this because a lot of the times this represents like flying towards the goal, and depending how this bird lands in a reading, it can be pointing towards something, so I really like that. And again, I love when this bird comes out too, so I'm gonna keep this one as well. Here's another heart, so that's gonna go in the maybe. Here's another angel wing, and I don't love this one as much, so this one's gonna go in my get rid of pile. So here I have this moth, and I think I'm gonna change the meaning of it because sometimes I read it as a butterfly, and so I think from now on when it appears in readings, I'm gonna start reading it as like something that's ending or something that we need to let go of, something that's creating issues in our life. And so I'm gonna see if I make that switch when it appears in readings, if it flows better. If it starts to flow better when it appears in readings, I'll keep it. If not, I'll eventually end up getting rid of it. We have another angel charm, which I'm gonna keep. I really like the infinity sign. I like this paper clip. I'm gonna keep it. I have this charm here that I believe is like a button off a shirt. I don't even know if the camera's picking it up, but it has a little bit of a design. I'm just gonna get rid of it. We have the Capricorn charm. I'm gonna keep that. Here we have a turtle. I'm definitely going to keep him. I'm definitely going to keep the safety pin because sometimes it has really good messages when it comes off, because it can mean that something's going to happen, but it's not actually going to hurt you, or you're going to be protected. Even if it's a painful situation, you're going to overcome it. I'm going to keep this star. And I like this alligator charm because sometimes when I'm doing readings, the way he appears, his tail can be like hitting something, and so it can kind of indicate pay attention, or it can indicate like, hey, there's a situation going on here that's going to be very intense, very strong, maybe a little bit of aggressive. So it really is a good charm to symbolize something in your life. I'm going to keep this cat charm because it's the only cat charm that I have. So I'm going to keep all my skulls because I feel like they're really insightful when doing readings, because I associate them with the death card in tarot, and I always preface the death card and these skulls by saying even though it's that energy is not indicating literal death. It indicates a change and transformation of your life, and I love having that energy in my readings because I always want to help people evolve into the best versions of themselves. I think I'm going to get rid of this charm too because even though it represents the sacral chakra to me, I feel like I have other charms that represent it, and I also feel like anything with fabric, it just gets too dirty and it gets too frayed, and so it's just not ideal for my charm collection. I'm going to keep these two charms here because the one I call my disco ball, and so it can kind of reflect things or enhance a message for the reading, and then the purple one represents the crown chakra, so I'm going to keep that. Here we have another owl, and of all my owls so far, I definitely want to keep him. He's definitely my favorite, so I'm going to keep him. I really like this dog tag. It's a little bit worn, but it says believe, and I think that this is something that is really just giving people hope and inspiration when it appears in readings, and I like to have certain charms that have phrases on them. And I'm also going to keep this graduation cap because, again, you know how I like transformation in my readings, and this can really show like an evolution of someone or like an end of a journey or a cycle. And then I use this charm to represent the heart chakra, so I'm going to keep that as well. I really like this charm because I use it as a shield, and so like if it's this way, it can show that someone needs to be protected, and then if it's reversed, it could say that someone needs to let their guard down. I think I'm going to get rid of this ring. It's appeared in a couple readings, and while sometimes it has a message, I also feel like sometimes it's more a charm that gets overlooked, and so I feel like there's better purposes than in this charm collection. I'm going to keep this. It's a heart and it says made with love, and I feel like that has so many different messages and it's just really cute. I'm going to keep this charm because it represents the sacral chakra to me, and it can represent like being trapped. So I really like that, and I think the rest of the charms I'm going to keep in the maybe pile and think about them. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and just dump the rest of these out. So I just went ahead and dumped the keep pile back into this cauldron because it was starting to overflow. I dumped the rest of the charms out, and then I put the maybe pile up here, and the get rid of pile is still here. So the first thing is my haunted mansion charm, and I love this because it represents spirit to me, and I use it all the time in readings. So I'm definitely keeping that. I'm also going to keep my money, so I'm going to get all that back in there, and also all the zodiac charms. And then see here, this is that pearl that I was talking about that goes with the earring. So I'm actually going to put that in the get rid of. I love this eye charm. It represents the third eye. I'm also going to keep the sun because it represents positivity and also has the energy of the sun in tarot. Here we have another skull. I'm going to keep that. We have this butterfly, and I did get a new butterfly, so I'm actually going to get rid of this one. Here we have another starfish, so I'm going to keep this one too. Here we have another heart, and actually I'm going to take all the heart charms and put them in the maybe pile. I'm gonna keep this heart because it's a locket and it also has an anchor on it, and so this one I feel like is a little bit more in depth than some of the other hearts that I have. I'm gonna keep the button because this can represent like security or like holding things together. Here we have another skull. So here we have these two music notes. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of the smaller one, and I'm gonna go ahead and keep the larger one. I'm actually going to go ahead and keep the Santa hat because I feel like out of all my Christmassy charms, this one I actually do resonate with the most, and I feel like I can actually use this in future readings. I'm going to keep both the elephant charms because I really like them. I really like to use the shell for listening, or sometimes getting a message, or sometimes collecting things even, because sometimes people go on the shore and they collect shells, and so I really like how that reads. The one ring that I definitely am keeping is this ruby one, and I really love this. It can represent a lot of commitment or offers being sent your way. It can sometimes represent an engagement, and it also could represent the zodiac of Cancer because it is a ruby. I'm going to keep the castle and the Eiffel Tower. I really like the peace sign. I'm going to keep this other turtle because I really like how it appears in readings. I'm going to keep this charm. I really like how it reads. I also have this wish charm, which I'm going to keep. I think I'm going to get rid of this You Are an Angel charm, just because I have a lot of other angel charms. I don't feel like I need that one. I think I'm going to get rid of this rose charm since I already have so many. I'm going to keep this charm for a little bit and see how it reads. I feel like it can point to certain charms or directions, and really give some guidance that way. So I'm going to continue to work with it. I'm also going to keep the cross. And then I have this charm here that kind of looks like someone took a piece of metal and just beat it up. I'm going to keep this because it can represent a lot of unexpressed emotions or frustration or anger. We have another angel charm, which I'm going to keep. I'm going to keep the flower because I feel like this can represent a lot of growth. I'm also keeping the flip-flop because this can represent travel and having fun and just be more playful. So here we have that other flamingo, so that's going to go in the maybe. I have these two leaves, which I still want to keep a little bit longer and see if my meanings for them can develop now that I'm narrowing down my collection. I think I'm going to get rid of these French fry charms. I just feel like anytime they come up in readings, I don't really resonate with them and I kind of skip over them. Sometimes they do resonate, but majority of the time I kind of pass over that message. I'm going to keep the sombrero. I really like how that reads. I'm also going to keep the witch's hat. I feel like the palm tree can represent a vacation. I really like this charm because it reminds me of opalite, so I'm going to keep it for that. I'm also going to keep both these charms. I like how they read. So I'm going to go ahead and open up these new charms so that I can add them, and then once I have all these charms open, I'm gonna go ahead and look at the maybes. So I'm so sorry. I thought I was recording for the past 5 minutes and I was so excited to open these charms with you, and I guess I never hit play. So the first charm that I got is actually this bird, and I had a lot of trouble focusing the first time when I thought I was filming, so I'm not sure how much of this is actually caught, but it's a bird in a bird cage. But the great thing about it is that the bird can kind of go wherever it wants, so depending how it lands in readings, it will land inside, but other times it could land and when I put it down it could fall like that, so the bird's outside of it, so it could have multiple messages depending how the bird lands. And then these two charms here were actually necklaces, and so I showed you how I use pliers to get these charms, and I was saying that I'm super excited to have the octopus because they're super stealthy, they're really good chameleons, and they're really smart and intelligent, and they really adapt to their surroundings and blend in. And then the butterfly, I'm so glad to have this because it's so much bigger than the last butterfly that you saw me get rid of, and so I feel like this is going to be a really good symbol of change and growth and evolution. And so now I just opened this, and if you had seen on the footage that I thought I was recording, it came with so much tape and bubble wrap. I was struggling with it to try and get it open, and I finally did, and they came in a separate bag, which I'm really grateful for. And so now I'm going to go ahead and look at them. And so what I'm actually seeing, this comes with the butterfly too. I did not know that. I'm actually going to go ahead and keep both of them because for me, this one seems almost regal. I know that doesn't make sense, but it has this very like even queen bee energy, and it's not a bee, so I don't know why I'm making that association in my mind, but I'm actually going to keep it because that's really great. And then the reason why I was okay with getting rid of my bow earlier is because I knew that this charm collection came with another bow, and so this is going to be really good. It's not made of fabric, and so it's going to hold up so much better. So this actually looks like it's a starfish too. And so I might actually go back in and take out the starfish I already have and get rid of it, because this is so much better. I love the shoe. I'm not sure how well you're going to see it on camera, but this shoe to me reminds me of Cinderella, and it also represents fashion. It could also represent a woman, so I'm definitely going to keep that. I love all the chalices in it. I think what I'm going to do is just keep all these chalices and kind of like link it to tarot a little bit, depending on the number that comes out in them. And then if it gets to be too much over time, I can always get rid of them. Ooh, so there's actually another butterfly. This is really interesting because it reminds me of a project that I made in middle school. So what I'm going to do, I don't feel like I'm going to put this in my charm collection right now, but I think I definitely am going to hold on to the charm. I believe that this is like a rose ball thing. I'm actually not going to keep that one. I really like the teapot. I'm going to keep that. Oh, I feel like this is supposed to be a pen or like a quill of some sort. I'm going to go ahead and keep this. I feel like it's a little fragile. Actually, I think I'm going to get rid of this charm because I feel like it's too fragile and it's going to break in my charm collection. I feel like this is either supposed to be a basket or a lamp, but I'm not really vibing with it, so I'm going to get rid of it. Oh, we have this mug here. Oh, it's attached. So this teacup actually has a mug attached to it. So I'm actually going to keep this one. I think that's super cute. I'm going to get rid of this charm again. I'm not vibing with it. Okay, and so the scissors came broken. I might still keep it because I know what it's meant to be. Yeah, I think I'm okay with it being broken because I still know what the message was, and maybe it being broken will have a new message for people. So maybe instead of saying you need to cut this cord, it's saying that you're trying to cut this cord and it's not working, or something's backfiring, or this connection's not healthy, like it's one-sided. So I think that's going to be my message for it. Instead of being the traditional scissor message, it's going to kind of be a little bit changed. I might keep this charm and see if it represents maybe linked or tied together or some sort of connection like that. So I have my maybe piled here. So I'm definitely going to get rid of that owl charm. Like the more I thought about it, it doesn't make sense to keep it. I'm also going to get rid of the ring. As far as the roses go, I think I'm going to keep them. And if I do end up getting rid of one, it's going to be the little one. But I think for now I'm going to keep them both. For the flamingos, I think I'm going to keep the lighter pink one and get rid of this more vibrant, more cartoony one. I'm going to get rid of the pearl. I'm going to keep the London bust because it could represent travel. I'm also going to keep the bobby pin. I'm going to keep this crescent moon owl because sometimes it can mean that like the wisdom is being connected with the moon or with the month or something. So I feel like that's going to be important. I think I'm going to keep Big Ben because that could be talking about timing of a situation. I think for these two charms, I'm going to get rid of them because I kept that Santa hat. I feel like I just don't need to keep both of these charms if I'm not vibing with them. I think for now I'll keep the protection, and then later on if I want to still get rid of it, I will. So now I have all my love charms. So I think the first one I'm going to get rid of is this. I'm also going to get rid of this one because I used to keep it because it reminded me of a locket. But now that I have a heart locket, I don't think I need it. I'm going to keep this Cupid one because to me it's symbolizing that love could be coming into your life, where like your target is on it. I'm also going to keep the love saying because this could be indicating that you are not only like bringing love into your life, but it could be saying you need love, where it's not representing the heart chakra, but it's just representing love. I like the heart cutout because this could also be representing like someone cut out your heart, like someone really hurt you or betrayed you. And then I also like this charm because to me it feels like it's replacing it, like it's filling it back up. So I feel like these two go hand in hand. And I feel like I can have this as a classical heart and I can just get rid of the silver one. But actually, the more I think about it, I think I'm actually going to keep this one too because it's like you're reflecting love. So it could be like you're like reflecting love outwardly, or it could be that someone's trying to give you love and you're reflecting it away. So I think with those adjustments of the way I'm seeing them, it's going to make a lot more sense. And so I feel like by setting up those different meanings in my head, now when I look at the charms and the readings, I can remember that and associate it to have those differences. So it's not the same love message over and over again. And so here's my updated charm collection. I'm really excited. It really makes me so happy when I look at all these charms, and I feel like there's a whole new energy where I got rid of all the charms that I no longer wanted. So for those of you who stuck it out throughout this entire video, I'm so grateful for you. And if you want to watch more videos of mine, I'm going to have them linked to the cards above. And I can't wait to see you all in my next video. I post multiple times a week, so definitely make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out. And I'm sending you all so much love and light on your own spiritual journeys. I can't wait to see you all in my next video. Have a good one. Bye.